7 spine-chilling sleepover horrors exposed. We weren't alone in the haunted house. Emma's heart raced as she stood before the imposing silhouette of the abandoned house, the sun sinking behind it like a dying ember. Rusted nails and broken windows made the old structure loom over them, filled with whispered tales of the horrors within. The locals spoke of a boy who vanished inside these very walls, not a trace left behind. "What if we're not alone tonight?" she laughed nervously, trying to shake off a chill creeping down her spine. Still, a thrill surged through her. This was the adventure they'd all been waiting for. Inside, the dust hung thick in the air, settling on every crevice of the decrepit living room. Faded family portraits lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow every movement. "You ready to summon some ghosts?" Jake grinned, but there was an edge of uncertainty in his voice. Emma pulled out the sleeping bags and set them down, excited to kick off the night with games and ghost stories. They cracked jokes and cracked open sodas, laughter echoing off the peeling walls. Soon, the atmosphere shifted. The old floorboards creaked ominously, and a cold breath seemed to whisper through the narrow hallways. "Did you hear that?" Mia whispered, her voice barely above a tremor. At first, they brushed it off as the house settling, but when a guttural thud echoed from upstairs, nerves turned to fear. Emma felt her chest tighten. "Just the wind," she forced herself to say, but her mind was racing with what lurked in the shadows. As they explored the dusty corners, Emma stumbled upon a ghastly sight. A dusty bookshelf scribbled with messages. "You shouldn't have come here." Her heart sank. What did that even mean? Panic bubbled beneath their bravado. Their phones flickered one by one, losing signal. "Come on, not now," Ted groaned, his face paling. They tried to laugh it off, but the jokes were weak, shadows creeping closer, palpable tension knitting itself into the air. Before they could brush their fears aside, the subtly sinister presence of Mr. Collins, the neighbor, grew more potent. He stood watching by the gate, his friendly smile seeming more menacing under the moonlight. "What are you kids up to in there?" he called, an unsettling curiosity in his tone. Emma felt a shiver race down her spine. "Nothing to worry about," she yelled back, but the words felt hollow. The whispers grew louder, curling around their minds, haunting them. "Just a story, just a story." Blended with the nasty history of the boy who went missing, stories became reality. The house came alive, each creak and groan embodying dread, fueling their paranoia. They turned to one another, arguments igniting like dry kindling. The unity they thrived on began to fray under the weight of terror. Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Then came the discovery of the truth. The boy didn't just vanish. Mr. Collins knew more than he let on. He had a chilling connection, and with each revelation, their reality crumpled. Suddenly, the shadows thickened around them, each corner of the house whispering secrets meant to terrify. Emma felt a chilling grip of fear vine around her heart. They couldn't stay, but the front door seemed miles away, and whatever dwelled within urged them toward the chilling unknown. The lights flickered, panic surged. What awaited them outside might be as horrifying as the darkness closing in. Fear wrapped around them, but the question hung heavy in the air. Could they escape the truth that had trapped them in their own backyard? A suffocating silence fell over the group. The air felt thicker, almost alive, pressing down on them as they stood paralyzed in the living room, torn between the urge to flee and the fear of what lay beyond the door. Emma could hear her own breathing, loud and frantic. She exchanged glances with her friends, their faces illuminated in patches by the flickering light of their dying phone screens. The creaking from upstairs grew louder, a slow, deliberate sound that resonated with a deliberate malice, echoing like a heartbeat. The whispers had morphed into something more sinister, a chant that clawed at the edges of their sanity. "We shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here." A chill stole over Emma. It felt too close, too personal. Let's just look around a bit more," Jake suggested, though his shaky voice betrayed his fear. They needed to know, to understand what the house was hiding. Was it just a trick of the mind, or was there truly something lurking in the shadows? Cautiously, they ascended the staircase, each step creaking underfoot, groaning like the very house was alive and warning them. Shadows danced along the walls, their features stretching grotesquely. At the top of the stairs, they found a narrow hallway lined with doors, each one seemingly more ominous than the last. Emma reached for the handle of the first door, its wood cold and unnerving against her skin. "What if there's something in there?" Mia whispered, voice trembling. The atmosphere was electric, thick with an ancient fear. Yet curiosity propelled them forward. With a deep breath, Emma pushed the door open, revealing a dark, dust-laden room filled with forgotten memories. A single window let in a sliver of moonlight, illuminating a child's bedroom, still adorned with faded toys and an unmade bed. On the wall, a simple drawing was pinned, a smiling, a boy being chased by dark, shadowy figures. A whisper crawled into Emma's ear, a voice just above a hiss. "He knows. He knows." She stumbled back, heart racing. "Did you hear that?" The others nodded, eyes wide and haunted. Suddenly, a loud bang rang out from the end of the hall, jolting them from their shock. The fourth door swung open violently, driven by an unseen force. Emma felt a chill gnaw at her bones, an instinctual urge to retreat combined with chaotic curiosity pulling her forward. "Let's get out of here," Ted urged, panic bleeding into his voice as the whispers crescendoed around them. But Emma felt rooted to the spot, drawn to the door that had burst open. Against her better judgment, and with a trembling hand, she took a step toward it. "What if?" Jake started, but Emma was already moving forward, the room's darkness inviting yet foreboding. The others hesitated, caught between the urge to flee and the magnetic pull of the unknown. Just as Emma reached the threshold, a cold gust of wind rushed past her, sending chills through her entire body. The whispers escalated into a cacophony, drowning out her thoughts. "Welcome, welcome home," it echoed, a chilling welcome that felt like a thin veil of dread settling over them. Then she saw it, a shadow, a figure emerging from the darkness beyond the door. It was indistinct, but it moved with purpose, and in that moment, Emma's heart stopped. The realization hit her like a punch. They weren't alone in the house. Something was waiting for them. "Run!" she screamed, spinning to flee down the hallway. But as panic spilled through the group, the floorboards erupted with ear-splitting cracks, and suddenly Emma understood. The house was just as confined as they were. Brutal shadows filled the spaces around them, and the door slammed shut behind them with deafening finality, sealing them in with whatever they had disturbed. What awaited them in the corridor of shadows? Could they find a way back to safety, or had they awakened horrors that were meant to remain undisturbed? Time was running out as they considered their next move. They bolted down the hallway, heartbeats racing in unison. The shadows flickered, a dark wave chasing them, the air thick with the stench of decay. Emma's mind reeled. She could almost hear the whispers of the house, each word a taunt as they scrambled for safety. "Where do we go?" Mia gasped, glancing frantically at the doors lining the corridor. Each one loomed like a gaping maw waiting to swallow them whole. The walls seemed to pulse, as if breathing in time with their mounting terror. "Downstairs!" Jake shouted, his voice cutting through the panic, but nobody seemed convinced. The stairs were a dark, ominous drop, and every instinct screamed at them to run in the opposite direction. As they turned towards the staircase, a sharp, shrieking laughter echoed behind them, petrifying them in place. Emma whirled around, her breath hitching. In her throat, the door that had flown open now stood ominously inviting, the darkness swirling within like smoke. "Are you hearing this?" Ted's voice trembled. "We need to leave. We need to—" Before he could finish, a force collided with him, sending him crashing into the wall. The others screamed, an animalistic sound that echoed through the corridor. Emma's heart clenched as she watched a shadow pull Ted away, his terrified face fading into the dark. "No!" she screamed, lunging towards the void, but Jake grabbed her arm with a tight grip, his face pale as bone. "He's gone! We can't help him!" The hallway twisted and turned, an endless loop of fear. They rushed towards the staircase, desperately hoping for an escape. But with every step, the shadows reached out, taut and clawed, grazing her back like icy fingers. Emma felt her resolve breaking, but the thought of being trapped here kept her moving. As they reached the top of the stairs, a blinding light flickered through the cracks of a nearby door. "What if that's a way out?" Mia whispered, hope and dread warring in her expression. The others nodded, stepping closer, minds racing. "Whatever's in there might be just as bad or worse," Jake warned, but the insistence of the light seemed to beckon them closer. "Maybe it's a trap," Emma murmured, shivering at the prospect. "But we have to try. We can't stay here." With her heart pounding in her ears, Emma twisted the doorknob. It turned with a soft click, a deceptively inviting sound that made her skin crawl. She pushed the door open, and they stepped into a vast, dimly lit room. The walls were adorned with haunting portraits, their faces twisted in expressions of despair. Each gaze seemed to follow them, locking them in a prison of scrutiny. A massive chandelier swayed gently, casting unsettling shadows that danced across the floor like a macabre performance. In the center of the room was an antique table covered with dusty trinkets, cursed relics of a time long gone. But one item caught Emma's eye, a tarnished locket gleaming with an eerie light. As she reached for it, a cold hand gripped her wrist, sending a surge of panic boiling within her. "Don't touch that!" Jake shouted, but it was too late. The moment her fingers brushed the locket, a chill enveloped her entire body. Visions flooded her mind, images of the house before it had fallen to decay, laughter echoing through halls now consumed by darkness. She gasped, the past erupting into a vivid nightmare. The shadows spun violently around them, the room stretching and contorting into itself. The laughter turned into sobs, haunting and broken, drowning out all reason. Emma collapsed to the floor, her vision swimming with the remnants of the souls trapped here. "We have to fight it," Mia cried, desperation fueling her voice. "We can't let it take us." But as Emma struggled to comprehend the rush of emotions, the shadows coalesced into a dark figure, rising with an ominous presence. It was there, looming, its form shifting and swirling like an angry storm. "Welcome," it hissed, the voice echoing with the weight of forgotten souls. You've come home. With that, the ground trembled beneath them, and the walls began to close in. There was no escape from the terror that enveloped them. Emma's heart raced as she realized the truth. There was no safe place in this house. As the shadows lunged forward, she screamed, "What do we do?" And then the room went dark. Where had Emma and her friends ended up? What horrors awaited them now that the house had fully awoken? Emma's breath came in shallow gasps as darkness enveloped her. It was suffocating, heavy like a wet blanket thrown over her. The air turned frigid, and the walls pulsed around her, threatening to crush her within their grasp. The laughter, they could still hear it, echoing all around them, weaving between shadows and whispers. "Emma, are you okay?" Mia's voice cracked in the dark, a small thread of hope amidst the terror. But it felt miles away, and Emma struggled to answer. Her tongue felt thick and heavy in her mouth. Where are we?" Jake's voice trembled, panic bleeding through his attempt to sound steady. Emma could feel him close, but in this suffocating blackness, she could see nothing. "I don't know," Emma finally dared to whisper, her voice barely rising above the haunting whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls. "We need to find each other." As if responding to her words, the shadows around them shifted, swirling about like enraged spirits. Suddenly, cold hands gripped the trio, thin and bony, pulling them apart, separating each from the other. Emma wrestled against the grasp, clawing at nothingness. "Mia!" she cried, terror rising in her throat like bile. "Jake!" But her voice was swallowed whole, devoured by the darkness, as Emma felt herself being dragged away, her body limp in the invisible clutches of despair. Then the darkness began to thin, swirling apart like the curtains of some malevolent stage. Emma stumbled, grabbing at the floor beneath her and gasping for breath. The light returned, shattering the emptiness, and with it came a new horror. Emma found herself in another room. This one was smaller, filled with strange artifacts and cluttered debris. A faint glow illuminated the space. Unearthed candles burned on a worn table, each flickering core casting dancing shadows on crumbling walls. It felt like a tomb, a sanctuary of remnants. "Emma!" Mia's voice suddenly pierced the air, frantic and astray. Emma spun around, following the sound, rushing towards the doorway behind her, but as she reached it, the door slammed shut, a solid thud that vibrated through her bones. "Mia! Jake!" she screamed, pounding on the door, panic seeping in. "Get me out of here!" Laughter wrapped around her, distant yet haunting, like an echo of her own fears. From the depths of the room, a figure started to form, materializing from shadow into grotesque, haunting clarity. A woman, her eyes sunken and hollow, glared at Emma with a sinister smile. "You shouldn't have come here," the figure hissed, its voice dripping with malice. "You think you can escape?" A visceral fear gripped Emma's chest, turning it to ice. "I need my friends," she shouted, voice trembling as she took an involuntary step back. The room transformed before her eyes, expanding and twisting, as if the very foundation of the house was mocking her, trapping her forever. The woman stepped closer, her visage a grotesque mask of torment, shadows lapping at her like hungry dogs. "Your friends, they belong to the house now," she crooned, "and soon you will too." Emma's heart raced. "No, I won't let this happen." Gathering her last shard of courage, she flung herself against the door again, screaming for help, clawing at the wood as the world around her blurred. But the shadows beckoned, whispering promises of freedom, vague yet enchanting. Emma faltered, her grip slackening as the darkness grew closer, curling around her legs like tendrils seeking purchase. In that moment, a loud crash reverberated through the walls, shaking the very core of the house. Emma froze, uncertainty clutching at her throat. Was it a rescue, or had the house decided to claim another? "Emma!" It was Jake. The voice rang clear as glass. His call shot through the air, igniting a flicker of hope. The edges of the reality around her shimmered, dreamlike and eerie. "Come on, get to me!" Desperation surged, overwhelming the darkness. Emma dashed for the source of the voice, the clash of chaos intensifying. In her mind's eye, she could picture her friends fighting against whatever held them. Just as Emma reached the walls, a deafening roar split the air. The house howled, its hunger palpable. "Come home," it bellowed, as the ground beneath her trembled violently. What lay beyond the darkness beckoned. Would she find her friends, or would the house claim her forever? Emma plunged ahead, heart racing, caught between hope and terror. But as she reached for the light, a hand gripped her shoulder from behind, cold like death. "Welcome," the figure hissed. And then darkness swallowed her whole once more. What awaited her in the void? Were her friends still fighting, or had they joined the damned? Emma plunged into a black abyss that felt like an eternity. The sensation of falling weighed on her, dragging her deeper into the darkness. She couldn't tell if seconds or hours slipped by. All she could hear was her own heartbeat pounding in her ears, a primal rhythm of fear echoing in the void. As suddenly as it began, the sense of descent halted. She landed harshly on a cold, hard floor, gasping as pain shot through her limbs. The air was thick, oppressive, filled with the scent of damp earth and decay. She squirmed, blinking rapidly to adjust to another dim light that flickered. Overhead, "Emma!" It was Jake again, his voice strained and desperate, but the sound was distorted, like a recording played at the wrong speed. He was somewhere nearby, but his closeness didn't offer solace. It tightened the knot of dread in her stomach. "Jake!" she croaked, forcing herself to stand. As she straightened, a shapeless shadow raced past her, vanishing into the gloom. Her pulse quickened. Was it one of them? "Where are you?" she called, terror tightening her throat. The shadows around her writhed in response, mocking her plea. Then the room swirled for a moment, and Emma caught sight of flickering shapes, the tortured outlines of her friends bound by chains of shadow, creeping down to the floor, pulled by unseen forces. They were trapped just beyond her reach, twisted in the dark, their faces strained with terror. Mia looked up, her eyes wide with fear. "Emma, help us!" A sob escaped her lips, flickering between hope and despair. Frantic, Emma rushed toward them. She could almost taste her friend's desperation. It clawed at her insides, making her feel sick. "No, I'll get you out!" But from the corner of her eye, the grotesque figure reformed, now looming in the darkness like a storm cloud ready to unleash torment. "They cannot be freed," it rasped, voice echoing like thunder. "They are bound to the house, and so are you." Emma's heart raced. "No, I won't be like you," she screamed, determination flaring inside her. She could feel the cold creeping closer. With every ounce of her strength, she threw herself against the wall of shadows constraining her friends. Sticking her hands out, she grasped for the chains, feeling the weight of despair coil around her wrists. Mia's anguished face was inches away, trapped in silent screaming. Suddenly, the room shook violently, and the mournful laughter of unseen specters filled the air. The ground rippled beneath her feet as if it was alive, hungry. "Get out! Get out!" the voice echoed, sharp and jagged. The house was alive. The walls leaned in, and the light dimmed further, a suffocating shroud threatening to smother her. Emma could feel the weight of fate pressing down on her, dragging her closer to the brink of hopelessness. Then a shimmer of resolve sparked. Emma turned, facing the malevolent figure, the source of her terror. "You think you own us? You don't know what we're made of." Raising her hands, she screamed with all her might, pushing against the weight of shadows surrounding her, willing her strength to break free. The echo of her voice rang out, a stark bell tolling against the silence. The figure recoiled slightly, surprise etched upon its twisted face. The shadows flickered, as if losing their grip. "Emma!" Mia cried, as if sensing a shift. The house quaked again, as if uncertain about its claim. The darkness began to wane. Emma felt the chains loosening, the eerie grip easing. But then a heart-stopping roar erupted from the depths.
"Of the house, deep, throaty, primal. You shall pay for this defiance." Dark tendrils lunged toward her like snakes ready to strike, spitting vengeance. Emma's breath caught in her throat. She had come this far. The flicker of hope ignited again. But would it be enough to save her friends, or would the house drag them into oblivion together? As she braced for the coming storm, an overwhelming question lurked in the shadows. What was truly waiting behind that door of darkness? And as the last shadows pulled back, glimmers of light danced like elusive flames. Was it a way out, or merely a deeper plunge into despair? Emma's heart raced against the chilling roar that vibrated through the walls, a deafening reminder of the house's wrath. Fear clawed at her throat, but adrenaline kicked in. The chains binding Mia and the others were slackening, and she had to seize the moment. "Hold on!" Emma yelled, her voice slicing through the thick air. She lunged at Mia, gripping her wrist. Instinctively, Mia grabbed back, the warmth of her skin a faint comfort amid the frigid room. With each desperate pull, a surge of energy seemed to ripple through the darkness. But it wasn't enough. The chains were infused with dark magic, feeding on despair. The shadows recoiled momentarily, but quickly regrouped, striking closer this time, twisting and surging in angry waves. "Run!" Jake shouted from behind her, his voice distorted yet urgent, a tether to strength. "Get out, Emma!" The flickering light dimmed deeper, and Emma felt the ground tremble beneath her like a living heartbeat. Though the threat loomed, an undeniable bond with her friends ignited her resolve. Grabbing Mia's hand tightly, Emma turned back toward Jake. "I won't leave you." But the shadows spiraled, lunging toward Jake, swallowing him in a dark embrace. She could see the terror etched on his face, a reflection of her own horror. "Emma, get out!" he cried, his voice a mixture of panic and defiance. For a heartbeat, she hesitated. The choice tore at her: fight for her friend or risk losing them all. "No!" Emma shouted. "You're coming with us!" She pivoted, pulling Mia with her as she dashed into the thickening fog of shadows. The air grew colder, biting at her skin, tormenting her senses. As they advanced, the oppressive walls twisted inward, closing with a haunting resonance. Each footstep echoed on the cold floor, urging her to turn, to abandon hope, but she pressed on. Around them, darkness swirled, voices whispering lies of defeat. "Give in," they hissed. "You can't escape." But Emma pushed through, clenching her teeth against the fear. She could feel Mia's fingers tremble in her grip, a reminder of their fragility. The shadows roared in response, piercing through their resolve, each whisper a venomous dagger aimed at breaking her spirit. Suddenly, the dim light flickered violently, and a great shadow erupted from the darkness, a beast born from nightmares. It towered above them, its grotesque form twisting like smoke, defying the very nature of reality. It bathed the hollow space in a cold glow, all-consuming. "Run!" Emma's instinct screamed. They darted past the monstrous figure, but it lunged in a sudden flash, snatching at Mia. Emma's breath stalled, panic flaring painfully as she felt the grip of the abyss tightening around them. Just before the creature could seize its prey, Emma twisted, unwilling to let go. A suffocating wave rushed past her, darkness scratching at her heels. But Emma was fueled by desperation, fueled by her friends. "Together," she shouted. They had to hold on. With a strain of will, they plunged into the light, and for a moment, time stood still. Emma felt a rush, a flicker of freedom, inching her closer to a way out. The shadows writhed around them, bitter and furious, shrieks echoing in the confines. But the light began to swallow them. Then, the indescribable shriek of the creature pierced the air, resonating through the walls of the house. "You cannot escape. You belong to the darkness." And just like that, the light waned again. Chains reformed, clawing at ankles, dragging them back. Emma's screams mixed with Mia's as they fought against the shadows. The bond between them swelled, but would it be enough to sever the binding chains? As they lurched forward, hands entwined, Emma caught a glimpse of an old door flickering in the distance. It beckoned, glowing softly, promising freedom. But would entering it mean facing something even darker lurking just beyond? Emma's heart thudded in her chest. With one final surge of strength, she lunged toward the door, barely scraping past the encroaching shadows. "This is our chance," she urged. But as they surged towards it, she could hear the desperate howls behind them, and the hair on the back of her neck prickled in fear. Would they escape the suffocating grasp of the house, or would it claim them forever? The door cracked open, revealing an uncertain world beyond. And a heartbeat after they crossed the threshold, a chilling whisper emerged from the darkened hall. "You think you've won, but this is just the beginning." Emma stumbled into the new space, her mind racing as she took in the scene. They were met not by sunlight or fresh air, but by a dimly lit corridor lined with crumbling portraits. Each face seemed aware, eyes following her every movement. Chills slithered down her spine. "Where are we?" Mia whispered, her voice muffled with fear. "I don't know," Emma replied, scanning their surroundings. Something felt off in the air, thick with the stench of decay. Shadows danced at the edges of the dim light, flickering against the peeling wallpaper. An unsettling feeling gnawed at her gut, The oppressive weight of the house lingered still. Behind them, the door slammed shut with a thunderous crash. The sound rattled through Emma, echoing like a death knell. Darkness pressed tight against the walls, as though the house was trying to squeeze them dry. "We need—"
"Stay close," she urged, her voice a shaky whisper. "Stay close." They crept down the corridor, careful to avoid the splintered floorboards that creaked like ghostly warnings beneath their feet. The windows were boarded up, blocking out any hint of light. As they walked, a faint whisper seemed to follow them, a cacophony of distant voices, laughing and crying, intertwining like a sinister lullaby. "Do you hear that?" Mia stopped, eyes wide with fear. "It's like someone is here with us." "Just keep going," Emma insisted, dread pooling in her stomach. That was the last thing she needed to hear. Suddenly, from the corner of her eye, a shadow darted by, quick but too substantial to be a figment of her imagination. Emma's heart hammered louder, pounding in her ears. "Did you see that?" "I did," Mia breathed, her face pale. "We have to hurry." They quickened their pace, the air growing colder with every step. As they turned a corner, they found another door, this one slightly ajar, a faint glow seeping through the crack. Emma reached for the handle, adrenaline pushing her forward. She wasn't sure what lay beyond, but they had to take the chance. Pushing the door open, they stepped into a large, barren room filled with dust and shadows. In its center stood an old dining table, mismatched chairs surrounding it. Dark stains marred the wood, a jarring reminder of a feast long forgotten. "This place is wrong," Mia's voice quivered. Emma nodded. She could feel it too. Suddenly, the glowing light flickered and went out, plunging them into darkness. A frantic rush of panic seized Emma. "Mia, are you there?" She extended her arm, feeling for her friend. "I'm here. I can't see anything." Mia's voice broke through the blackness. Just then, the whispers returned, sharper this time, laced with malice. "Leave now. You don't belong here." They echoed around them, rising in intensity. Emma shivered, the pitch reaching a fevered pitch that vibrated through her bones. In her mind's eye, she could see Mia, lost in the dark, and the urge to protect her ignited an instinct deep within. "Hold on to me," Emma cried, fear pushing her voice beyond refuge. Then, from the corner of the room, a low growling emerged, a threatening rumble that curled around them like smoke. "You are trespassers," it hissed. In an instant, the air thickened, a cold dread sweeping over them like a wave. Emma froze, heart pounding. "We can't stay here. We need to find a way out." But before she could think, the shadows closed in. They shifted and morphed, wrapping around the table as if trying to ensnare them. The darkness swirled viciously, leaving no room for light, no escape in sight. A fierce scream erupted from Mia. "Emma, it's coming!" The growl intensified, a monstrous beast now visible within the shadows, eyes glimmering with malice. "You will join us," it snarled. As horror filled the room, Emma felt her grip on Mia slip. Hope fizzled out and despair settled in.
This wasn't just a haunted house. It had a malevolent will of its own. With their world collapsing, Emma's instincts shouted one thing: fight. "Run!" she yelled, breaking free from the paralyzing fear. But in the chaos, she felt something in the darkness latch onto her ankle, holding her back. Heart racing, she turned to Mia, desperation etched on her face. "Together, Mia, we can fight it!" In that moment, with the beast lunging at them, Emma understood the depths of their challenge. They'd just escaped one hell, but had they stepped into another? As she struggled against the grasp of shadows, the whispers slithered back. "There is no escape. You must join us or perish." The walls quaked and the room trembled as the sinister growl engulfed her heart. Emma could only wonder, would they conquer this darkness, or would the house claim them both? In the sheer horror of it all, she realized they weren't just in a haunted house, they were at war with it. But if this was a battle, what would the sacrifice be? A shattering scream echoed behind her, and Emma's breath caught. Would she lose Mia to the darkness? The fight was far from over, and whatever lay ahead was more than just a battle for freedom. It was a test of their very souls. The shadows writhed, sinking deeper into the corners of the room like ink spilled on paper. Emma struggled against the dark grip tightening around her ankle, the sensation like icy fingers coiling, stealing her warmth. Panic swelled inside her chest as she turned to Mia, whose face was now a mask of terror. "Mia, please, don't let go!" Emma's voice wavered, a fragile thread connecting them in the consuming darkness. "I'm trying," Mia shouted, her own feet slipping as the shadows reached hungrily toward her. Each pull felt like a betrayal from the house, as if the very floors wished to consume them. Suddenly, a flash of blinding light erupted. Or was it a memory? Emma couldn't tell. All she knew was that the beast's growl turned into a snarl that resonated through her bones, jostling her from her daze. For a fleeting moment, she caught a glimpse of the creature, a mass of twisted limbs and glowing eyes, boiling with anger and hunger. The sight sent chills racing down her spine. "Together!" Emma screamed, finding her resolve. "We have to face it!" With a surge of adrenaline, she tore free from the shadow's grasp, her foot breaking free. Momentarily, a fierce brightness illuminated the room as Mia stumbled towards her. They locked hands, two lifelines clinging in a storm of shadow. But that connection was short-lived. The whispers rose again, a cacophony wrapping around them. They were everywhere, taunting, pleading, a sinister orchestra commanding their next move. "It's too late. You will join us." "No!" Emma howled, clutching Mia's hand tighter, her heart racing with the desire to fight back. "This isn't the end." In an act of desperation, Emma pivoted toward the opaque door they had come through. She could hardly see it, a mere outline in the encroaching dark. "We'll push through. Follow me." They stumbled together, blinded by shadows closing in. The whispers escalated into a deafening roar as they ran. With every step, an emotional weight clawed at Emma. What if they couldn't escape? Suddenly, there was a shift in the atmosphere, and she felt it. The weight was heavier, the whispers sharper. Objects began crashing as they barreled toward the door. Chairs toppled, fragments of the past, memories of despair, crashed around them. Each thud against the ground sent tremors into their souls. "Mia, keep going!" Emma yelled, throwing her body against the door, praying for it to give way. Just as they reached the threshold, the beast lunged from the shadows, its breath cold and rancid against their skin. Emma jerked back, instinctually shielding Mia. In a move both reckless and brave, Emma turned and bellowed, "We're not afraid of you!" Her voice rang out, echoing through the cavernous space like a defiant battle cry. To her shock, the shadow seemed to falter, light flickering through the room like the breath of dawn. "Fear feeds us. Your fear is the feast," it hissed. Was that doubt in its growl? Seizing the moment, Emma thrust open the door, pulling Mia through just as the beast's claws swiped the air behind them, missing by a hair's breadth. They stumbled into the hallway, hearts pounding. The darkness behind them howled with fury, winds swirling like a cyclone. "You can't escape. You'll return," it shrieked, echoing down the corridor. As they raced down the dimly lit passage, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that the house was alive, aware of their every move. Each portrait still seemed to watch them, their painted eyes filled with a mix of curiosity and contempt. "There has to be a way out," Mia gasped, breathless as they turned, bursting into another room. This place, however, was different. Walls covered in grotesque murals depicting figures in mourning, faces twisted in anguish. The air felt thick with despair. In the center stood a mirror, its surface rippling like water disturbed. "Emma, look!" Mia pointed, her eyes wide. In that moment, they caught their reflections, but they weren't alone. Behind them stood shadows, vague but distinctly there. Figures that echoed their own forms, but dripped with darkness, grinning maliciously. "Emma, what do we do?" Emma's heart sank, horror overtaking her thoughts. "It's not just a house, Mia. It's a trap that feeds on us." As the shadows in the mirror leaned closer, their smirks widened, contorting into expressions that mirrored Emma's deepest fears. The realization hit her like a bolt of lightning. If they were to break free, they needed to confront their own darkness. "Mia, we have to confront them." Her voice shook, but there was a sliver of resolve in it. Before the mirror, their fates intertwined with those shadows.
Each wanted to pull them back, to drag them down into despair. Emma felt a flicker of uncertainty creep in, but she couldn't let it take hold. "Together!" she cried again, inspired by that simple thought. Perhaps that was their strongest weapon against the consuming darkness. As the reflections reached for them, Emma and Mia prepared. Would facing themselves be the battle that decides their fate against the darkness? The mirror shimmered ominously, as if anticipating their next move. And yet, within the depths of despair, the waiting question loomed. Would they emerge unscathed, or would the house claim their souls for eternity? As the reflections pressed ever closer, their hands stretched forward, eager to take hold of Emma and Mia. The mirror warped, creating a pulsing gateway that throbbed with dark energy. Emma's heartbeat matched its rhythm, rapid and unyielding, sending tendrils of panic spiraling through her. "Wait," Mia gasped, her voice pleading. "What if we can control it somehow?" There was desperation in her tone, a flicker of hope amidst the dread. "What if we become them?" Emma countered, her eyes darting between Mia and their sinister reflections. The figures in the glass twisted and deformed, layers of sorrow draping over them like heavy, tattered cloaks. "We have to try," Mia insisted, her resolve hardening. Emma swallowed hard, the fear clenching her throat. She took a step forward, feeling the cool glass beckon her. "All right, on 3. 1, 2. Before she could say 3, the shadows lunged. Emma gasped as cold hands gripped her wrists. She felt their suffocating presence wrap around her, drawing her into an abyss of despair. The anguish, her own memories flooded back, the time she felt alone, unworthy, those moments when darkness loomed larger than life. "Emma!" Mia screamed through the veil of shadows, stretching her own hand toward her friend, caught between fear and something far worse, a creeping indifference. With a surge of adrenaline, Emma closed her eyes tightly and dug deep into her core. "I won't let you take me," she shouted, visions of warmth and light crashing through the waves of despair. The darkness flinched, hesitated. The mirror vibrated, distorting the image of the figures, but their smiles remained. She concentrated, pulling Mia's essence toward her. "Think of something good, Mia. Focus." "Okay, I'm trying," Mia's voice quivered as the shadows continued combating their resolve. A wave of doubt crashed over them again, whispering pitiful thoughts of their inadequacy. The room dimmed further, and the walls began to pulse, flickering between brightness and darkness like the breath of a dying flame. Emma felt the shadows shift, their grip loosening with each moment of defiance. Fueled by a rush of rallying spirit, she dug deeper. "I am not afraid of you! You are just a reflection!" A blinding light burst from the mirror, illuminating the room, momentarily blinding them. Emma stumbled back, heart racing. She felt Mia's hand return, a fleeting yet firm bond amid the chaos. Together, they faced their tormentors. "Leave! Us!" they shouted in unison, clutching the strength of their friendship like a shield against fragmentation. The shadows screeched, an awful sound that reverberated through their very bones. They flickered violently against the walls, demanding submission. Suddenly, in that shimmer of light, Emma caught a glimpse of clarity. "Mia, it's not just us. They want us to fear each other. We have to trust ourselves." In that moment of understanding, they forged a pathway of incandescent light between them, shimmering against the haunting darkness. With renewed strength, they pressed against the glass. "Together!" they screamed, their voices harmonizing like a spell through the air. Sunny memories flashed in front of them, laughter, summers spent under bright skies, family bonds that couldn't be broken. Each joyous memory pushed against the shadows, cracking the mirror's surface. All at once, the shadows shattered into 1,000 fragments, dissolving like mist under the sunlight. Shaking, Emma and Mia fell back against the floor, breathing heavily as the croaking whispers faded into silence. But that peace felt fragile. The room around them darkened unpredictably, colors shifting in a predatory dance. The corner of their eyes caught fleeting glimpses of new shapes moving beyond their sight. "What if it's not over?" Mia whispered, dread creeping back into her voice. The swirling shadows soon returned, this time pulsing with a different rhythm, beckoning something far worse. As the door to escape creaked open ahead, Emma felt a new darkness rising within her. Something's wrong. The house shifted, its energy swirling with a malignant hunger. "You cannot leave. You are ours." As they stepped toward the door, the familiarity of the shadows ignited fear from deep within. Could it all start again? Or was there an even darker truth waiting for them beyond that threshold? Emma and Mia exchanged a terrified glance. They were ready to run, but could they trust the very path that led them to the heart of the darkness and back? As they teetered on the precipice of a decision, the shadows loomed, ready to ensnare them once again. The air felt electric with something dark as Emma and Mia stood before the door, its splintered frame ominous, pulsing with shadows threatening to consume them whole. Emma's heart thundered in her chest. Was this it? Their ticket to freedom? Or the start of another twisted nightmare? "Ready?" Emma's voice trembled, reflecting the turmoil inside her. I think so," Mia whispered, fear etched across her face. "We can't let it win." With determination rising in her chest, Emma nodded, steeling herself for the unknown. She gripped Mia's hand tightly. "No matter what happens, we stick together." They took a deep breath and pushed the door open, stepping into a realm of murky gray. But there were no walls, no structure, just a never-ending expanse of shadows looming and swirling. Dread filled Emma's gut, but she forced herself to look ahead. Figures loomed just beyond their sight, and the echoes of laughter morphed into wailing cries. "Stay close," Emma urged, the darkness swirling around her in a deafening chorus. "Focus on the light. Remember who we are." As they moved forward, scenes of their childhood memories flickered like fireflies, breaking through the suffocating gloom, guiding their way through the maze of despair. The chilling whispers followed, coiling closer, threatening to wrap around them. "Come home," they hissed, begging. "Never!" Mia shouted defiantly. "This isn't home. We are leaving." Emma sensed the shadows recoil, but they surged back ferociously, rising like thunder. Each attempt at breaking free only drawing them in deeper. "Think of everything we love," Emma yelled, urging Mia onward. The warmth of community and laughter flowed through her mind. Memories of summer nights under the stars, laughter shared over campfires, and holidays with family. Suddenly, a powerful wind roared past them, like the breath of the house exhaling in rage. "You cannot resist. You've already joined our ranks." But Emma stood tall. "We are stronger than you," she yelled back, defiance igniting a fire within her. The shadows paused, their momentum faltering under the weight of her proclamation.
Emma felt Mia's grip tighten beside her, a shared strength coursing between them. With a burst of courage, Emma shouted, "Together! We face this together!" In that moment, they conjured the light of friendship, a beacon of resilience in this abyss. The shadows screeched in protest, recoiling from the radiance ignited by their bond. But as they pressed forward, Emma could feel an increasing pull from the darkness. Slipping through her defenses like feral whispers, doubts clawed at her heart. "Will it ever end?" Mia's voice quivered, echoing the fear they both felt, and Emma could sense the strain. "Don't think like that! We're almost there!" Emma retorted, but inside, uncertainty gnawed. Were they merely prolonging their fate? The path ahead darkened once more, the laughter morphing into agonizing wails. Shadows reached out, attempting to grasp at their ankles, to drag them down into untold despair. "Join us. You cannot escape." Electrifying focus pulsed through Emma as she slammed her fist against the wall of darkness. "No! We refuse to be shackled by fear!" The shadows wavered, and in that flicker of hesitation, freed from despair's grip, Emma felt a ripple of vast strength. Maybe the house isn't just darkness. Maybe it's a reflection of who we were, of our fears. "Exactly," Mia said, her voice rising in strength. "We've already fought through so much. They don't define us." With hearts united, they pushed toward a glimmering light, the shimmering edges breaking like dawn against the shadows. Hope surged anew. They could embrace the light, the truth of who they were and who they wanted to be. As they crossed into the light, the shadows writhed in agony, shrieking for their return. It was here or nowhere. In an explosion of brilliant light, everything shattered seamlessly. Emma and Mia collapsed to the ground, breathless. They blinked against the bright sunlight streaming through the trees. The house stood still in the distance. Silent now, its haunting whispers fading away like echoes in the wind. Trembling, Emma turned to Mia, both of them in disbelief. "We did it! We're free!" "Are we? Or is this just another trap?" Mia's eyes scanned their surroundings, a beautiful open field, an endless sky. They didn't see any shadows, but doubt lingered. "We faced the darkness and came out stronger," Emma asserted, the warmth of courage igniting. "Together, we beat it!" The bond they'd forged against the shadows shone brightly, brighter than any possession the house could ever claim. Their laughter rang in the air, a sweet melody, echoing against the emptiness that once filled their lives. As they stood, embracing the sunlit reality, they couldn't shake the chill of those memories. But now they knew the shadows might linger, but they would fight. Turning away from the house, Emma took a deep breath, letting the peace wash over her. "Come on, let's go home." But as they walked away, the house stood there, a dormant beast, waiting patiently, holding its secrets tightly, as though hiding another story, another haunting for the unwary. The end? Only they could decide. As they stepped into the distance, whispering promises of adventure ahead, a pair of watching eyes blinked from the shadows of the house. "Soon," it murmured, anticipation hanging thick in the air. And with that thought, the screen faded to black. You need to subscribe now. Don't you want to be part of our next adventure? Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm and keep the stories coming. I want to hear your thoughts and theories. Flood the comments. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Only true fans support the channel to keep this journey alive. As they stepped into the distance, whispering promises of adventure ahead, a pair of watching eyes blinked from the shadows. "Soon," it murmured, anticipation hanging thick in the air. And with that thought, the screen faded to black. You need to subscribe now. Don't you want to be part of our next adventure? Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm and keep the stories coming. I want to hear your thoughts and theories. Flood the comments. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Only true fans support the channel to keep this journey alive.